Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series S.A.W. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and first off, carbon fiber design all the way around the packaging. So there's that Cobra 147, some tape, peg holder hook thing, Cobra Saw Viper semi-automatic weapon. Then here we have a nice big window showcasing the figure and accessories for the most part. Sliver of a window on this side, Cobra G.I. Joe Classified Series. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up, there's assortment numbers if you need them. And Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, we've got some nice artwork of the Saw Viper. G.I. Joe Classified Series, he's number 147. On this side, number 147, Cobra! And then here is his skill set. And then, again, that artwork from the other side. There's a QR code if you want to scan it. G.I. Joe Classified Series. On the back, number 147, half Cobra. So, nice practical photography here. And I think that looks pretty good. And then, looks like digital renders for some close-ups of stuff. There is his skill set again. Cobra Saw Viper semi-automatic weapon. Parents! GIJoe.com. Attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole that do not belong there. Includes figure and 9 pieces, not accessories. Warning, attention, Octoon. Don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Small, fine, legalese, made in China print. And the assortment number, that thing, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers to help us with some of the smaller stuff, but we don't need that yet. So first of all, here's the ammo belt that goes to the gun from the backpack. And I do believe this is reuse from the Target Tiger Force Roadblock. That was the Roadblock and Tripwire Tiger Force 2-pack. I could be wrong. I don't have that one, so it is possible I'm mistaken on that. But this backpack is definitely from that set. This is definitely Roadblock's backpack. You can see you put the ammo loader down here. There's a peg on the back. There's a handle up here. There's a post here for a tripod to go on, but this guy doesn't have a tripod for his gun. But, you know, it's cool. It makes sense for this to be reused. And it's got some nice black paint apps on it there. Nice coloration overall. Black paint app here and for the frame. So, not a bad piece. Now, if you don't want to use the big backpack, this is an ammo canister also that goes into the side of the gun where the loading port is. So, and we'll get to how all that works in a minute. Next up, we have his little chainsaw. It's got a post on it right here where it pegs into the gun. Nice silver paint app for the blade and chain. And then it does have some nice molded details in it for the chain, the blade, and the working housing. The housing of the motor stuff. Next up we have his sidearm, and I do believe we've seen this several times now in the line. Looks like it's got a suppressor on it. An extended magazine, molded in black plastic with nice molded details and a realistic looking type weapon. Next we have his knife, and I'm pretty sure we've seen this in the line before as well. There's some serrations on the back here and just nice molded details throughout, molded in black plastic. Next up we have his primary weapon, and it's got this handle on it, and this will come off, and it does come off pretty easily. And there's a port right there. Oh, that's for the chainsaw, so that's cool. That's where the ammo loads in. This handle back here, there's the trigger. So throughout this, you know, there's nice molded detail on this. It's a very kind of realistic looking weapon. It could be a real weapon. I don't know if this is a real weapon. It's possible, but I do like that. And this piece is adjustable, and again, it is removable as well. But it's a very nice looking piece. And then here we have his helmet with this nice, I think it's yellow visor. If it's not yellow, I'm colorblind. Please don't make fun of handicapped people. So nice molded details on this as well. It's got some like vents in the back, and then a ridge that runs across the top. Is that a snake? Yeah, that's a snake. That the ridge is a snake. So that's kind of cool. Just overall, kind of a futuristic-y looking helmet, but it's still cool. And now let's take a look at the figure itself. And here we'll take a look at the face first. And of course, he's wearing some kind of the ski mask, so you know he could be a criminal of some kind rather than a member of Cobra. But in this case, he's a member of Cobra. But I think the inkjet did a nice job with the eyes around the eyes, the mouth, and then we have this communications device, a mic that leads up to an earphone. So that's pretty cool. And well, this piece is removable. I thought it was. I wasn't 100% sure. And this looks like maybe reuse from tripwire. And you can see it's got a little padding in there, and some wrinkles for the fabric and stuff out here. And this is where it sits on the vest. Kind of helps it sit in place. So that's a pretty cool little piece. So I thought maybe there was some mic lines or something down here, but it's not. And you can see like the mask details go down the neck as well. Because of the collar, I want to say the torso might be reuse from Stalker. The arms, I'm not sure. Some of this armor may be reuse from Tripwire, but I don't think it is. I'm not 100% sure. But there we have a nice little Cobra Tampo with a black background, some black for these straps here. And it looks like a lot of this is molded in color, and there's not a lot of paint apps going on other than the head. Now the belt buckle looks to be a paint app. The belt might be a paint app as well. This is probably a glued on piece, as well as the holster for the gun. This might be some paint. Well, that's molded on there, it looks like. So that may be new. Yeah, all that's molded on. I thought these were separate pieces like these arm pieces, but it's not. That could be all new mold here for the legs. So not bad. And it looks pretty cool. As far as the articulation goes, he can, the look up hardly none. and he's got a dumbbell at the top and a ball at the bottom of the neck, and that gives him some chicken neck. He can look down that far. He's got some tilt there, can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, butterflies, goes back that far, goes forward that far, spins around 360 degrees. And if you get the armor here out of the way, let's see, you get approximately a 90-degree bend there. Cut at the upper bicep. Again, the armor kind of gets in the way, but it will do a full 360-degree rotation there. Excuse me. Double hinged pinless elbow, and with the armors on, it gives you that much bend. Trigger finger hand over here on an in and out hinge, and the other side is on up and down hinge, so that's pretty good. And then 360 degrees of rotation there as well. Probably an ab hinge under the vest here, as well as a ball joint here at the waist, and that allows him to bend back that far and forward that far, so not a whole lot. And then he does at the waist have a 360-degree rotation. Pull down hinge at the hips, pull it down, and he gives you that much of the splits, and the holster doesn't seem to be hindering the motion. It seems that is how much it gets, and I think it's due to the mold of the leg armor there. So I'm just gonna pull that one back down. So he can kick forward that far and back that far, and then at the top of the thigh here, he's got a cut for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you, should give more than that, it feels like, it looks like, but it gives you that much bend. Then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up slightly, and then he does have forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as storage of the weapons and stuff, so let's put this, his, I guess, collar back on. We don't want him to get whiplash. And then, of course, the helmet goes right there on his head, just over his eyes. And that helps keep this neck piece down a little bit. As you can see, it kind of, it doesn't really clip there, but it's got these clippy things. So there is that. His knife goes in the sheath there on his back, and it fits in there nicely and stays due to friction. And the same with the holster for the sidearm. If I can get it in there, let's see, there we go. So that stays pretty well. Now let's set him to the side for just a minute so we can look back at this gun, rifle, primary weapon. So here is the small ammo canister, and this hole right here, or port, whatever you want to call it. It fits right in there nicely, so if he's not going to be doing a whole lot of shooting, he can use that. Either that or he's got some really small bullets in there. And this piece just goes right in here, and it doesn't like to stay, and it doesn't like to go all the way. I had to use the tweezers to get it in there the first time, and I'm probably going to have to do that again. Alright, and there we have it in there, and I did have to push it through with the tweezers again. Excuse me. As you can see, it's sticking out. Well, it's not sticking out, but it's visible right there. And then on the backpack, there's this little slot right there at the bottom, and you just slide that in there until it stops, and it's not open in the back. So there is that. So we go and put his backpack on using that port in his back. And then he doesn't really hold it like that. You have to slide it on up. Yeah. Like that. So he kind of holds it level like that. And then of course the other hand holds the handle, and it popped off, as it is not uncommon for it to do, especially if you're trying to pose the gun in his hand. So that's something to just be aware of. It's not really a minus on it, at least not to me. So there is that. And then the port here in the bottom of the gun is where the little chainsaw goes, and he can also hold that in his hand. So, but here he is all armed up. That's all of the accessories except for the small ammo box. So there is 99% storage for this figure. Well, there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Saw Viper with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Techno Viper and the Target exclusive Cobra Island G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Viper. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Saw Viper with the Valaverse Action Force Special Deployment Series Swarm Sentry and the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Scarab. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Saw Viper, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Saw Viper, I have to say, I'm not going to dissemble when I tell you guys that I was going to pass on this figure. This one came out after I aged out, if that's what you want to call it, of G.I. Joe toys in general. So I really have no nostalgic feeling for this character or troop builder, whatever you want to call it, and I don't even really remember it too much from the comic books. It may have had a couple of appearances in the Marvel comic, but my good friend Prophet Director reminded me that Saw Viper was the one who unalived Doc of the G.I. Joe team. And that was either something I wasn't aware of or just forgot. And at that point, the pre-orders were sold out. He did come in stock at an online shop I'd frequent often. And I said, well, He had an important role. Let me go ahead and pick him up. So I did. And I'm not disappointed in this figure. You know, it's not something I have a lot of nostalgia for, but it's cool nonetheless. And I like his backpack. It finally gives me a look at Tiger Force Roadblock's backpack. And I'm assuming he comes with the ammo feeding belt. Excuse me, as well. So this gives me my first look at that, and it's not bad. I like the way that it works. The belt goes in and it doesn't fall out, so that's always a good thing. This guy's heavy gun is impressive, and the fact that it has a chainsaw on it too, which predates Gears of War having something like that, and the fact that this one is removable, he can use it as a hand weapon or tool if need be. It's just, I think it's overall cool. I like the colors on this. This feels very Cobra the Enemy. And just like the futuristic looking helmet is, I like that as well. And the fact that you pull the helmet off and he's wearing a ski mask, but he has an earpiece and microphone. So I like that. Again, I think this guy's cool. No nostalgia here, but not disappointed in this figure in the least. And you know, he's going to be on a different shelf than Doc. They're not going to share a shelf because things might happen, and we don't want that. So overall, I have to say, you know, I like this guy. I think the accessories are cool. I think the overall look of it is cool. And I'm not disappointed that I picked it up. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future, you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.